G'day everyone, welcome back to In My Shed. I'm BC, slashing at slot drills again. Well, this time I've got it mounted up to grind the end teeth with the primary and secondaries. Once again, it took me a while to figure out what I was doing, but it's an extremely hard cutter. It's throwing grain everywhere. It's really resisting. I'd say it's at the upper limit of what I possibly can do reasonably easily here. But also I thought I'd show you a few other things that you can do with cutters here. So I'll bring you in a little bit closer. And a lot of this is very basic setup, but if you haven't been shown, you'd never pick it up. So I'll bring the camera in a little bit closer and give you a look at some of the tools I use. Well, here we are a bit closer up on the Clarkson table. I've started to grind the primaries on this cutter. Bit difficult to index with this gooseneck. I think I'm missing one indexing tool where you should index off the bottom of the table. That one I don't have, I don't think. But simple thing, when you set up to index like this, luckily I can rotate the table around to do it. You've got to get the tool level with the table first, and that can be a little bit difficult to do sometimes, trying to measure things. So I don't have a short height gauge. That is a vernier height gauge. I've been trying to find a 6-inch one at a good price, and the only thing that's available is some bullshit electronic thing that I don't want to use. So I'll go back about a century and show you how it was done a long time ago. First thing that comes up is the old-fashioned surface gauge. Very easy to set height on one side, but how the hell do you get around the other? You're kind of lost for words, but they're still a very useful tool. They're also good when you're comparing the height of your cutting tool to the centre of the wheel if you're using a Type 1A1 straight wheel to grind peripheral relief behind. So yep, these things are still very good items, but in this case they just won't cut the mustard. So I'll go back to the same vintage again. For all you young whippersnappers, that item is known as a planar shaper gauge. Something you may not have seen. They're sort of well and truly into last century. They're an adjustable item, sliding on a ramp, and it was set to the correct height, but I changed it when I put the 7-degree primary clearance in. But it's simply a case of setting the height under a cutting lip, like so, locking up the clamp, go around the other side of the setup and compare it. Now, nothing could be simpler. The gauge itself is faultless. That one's in very good condition. It's a Starrett. I also have a Lufkin. Now, one extension I have for this, and these are quite often lost when you buy one of these, is the two different height setters, but also a gauge. Very accurate. Can be turned upside down or right side up. And one place I have seen these used concurrently is setting up line boring tools. If you can appreciate that that sits on the shaft of the tool, and whatever you set your pointer to is where you can set your line boring tool. So turn the tool around, you can go down very low with the same tool. Quite a good little gadget, and to set it accurately, instead of just talking, I'll try and set it up. That's it, lose the finger. Got a big dose of fumbles. Okay, if you're setting this up for a line boring tool, you set the height with a depth micrometer. Then you know it's very accurate to what you're trying to do. Take it off your depth micrometer, land it on the shaft, put your tool bit up to it, and you've got a very accurate adjustment just in thous. So quite a good tool. But back to what we're doing here, I've tilted the workhead back about 7 degrees to put the primaries in, which had been done. But the corners just, they don't take the skin off your finger, so I think I'll take a little bit more on both sides, then I'll crank it back to about 15 or 18 degrees to put the secondaries in there. And if it's deemed that I need a gash in there, I'll just use a 1mm cut-off wheel in the machine and heat it up. But this is the finishing up the slashing of the slot drills. I hope it hasn't been too hard for you to follow along. And I'm thinking soon I'll start the abrasive machining course. Even if I can't get the proper monetisation organised, you can get the first few lessons free and pay me for 10 and watch the last 8. Okay fellas, bye for now. Well, I should really say goodbye. Not going to cut you short on what you see here. I'll zoom you in and give you a look. It's reasonably even. One primary clearance is a fraction longer than the other. I'll gash it with a cut-off wheel as the next operation. But the cutter is grand. It was very, very difficult. The M42 Cobalt just don't lend themselves to grinding with a standard Alox wheel, but I'll pick a few CBN wheels up during the month if I can. So squeeze you in a little bit closer, if the telephoto is going to be kind to me. There you go. Primaries and secondaries ground, good enough for a cutter in my workshop anyway. So all the best guys, be very, very careful and safe moving yourself up to Christmas. Bye for now, and if you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Well, I realise I left you all hanging without the final bit of the action. So I'll set it up, I'll move the lights, I'll move the camera, and let's gash the cutter. Okay, well I hope I got it right. I'll make some noise now, so I'm sorry that's the end of the talking. But let's see if I can gash the cutter without getting my fat head in the way. Done. No song and dance required. That was a quick job. Bye for now, guys. I'll let you have a look in stereo. I hope I got it right. For 60 grit wheels, that finish is absolutely fabulous. Have a good weekend.